Hey, what's happening, Disc Viewers? Me, the Guy01, and welcome to this week's first episode on the Walkthrough channel. This week, it's CM Punk against Cody Rhodes. Now, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, so I'm just gonna skip through the regular intro and jump right in. So, yes, we did have a few birthdays this week. Not one of them will be featured in this match, but it was Maurice's birthday on the 21st. She turned 41. Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné. Her birthday was yesterday on the 26th. She turned 32, and it was also Road Warrior Hawk's birthday on the 26th. He would have turned 67. But now let's jump into the first bit of news, and it's something that I'm sure everyone already knows about. But WWE 2K24 has officially been announced, and the cover stars, yes, I said stars, plural, have been revealed. The main cover star is Cody Rhodes, which is why I'm featuring, part of the reason why I'm featuring him in this match. And then the other two co-cover stars are Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, which are both very well deserved for that spot. And it also was announced that there will be a 40 years of WrestleMania mode, or not mode, but there will be a 40 years of WrestleMania edition. And this is where I get a little confused. So I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the showcase is a 40 years of WrestleMania showcase, similar to what they did with 2K, what would that have been, 13 or 14. That was the 30 years of WrestleMania showcase. So they're doing the same thing, but now it's 40 years. So I assume that's the showcase. But I don't know, unless if it's not that, then I believe Cody Rhodes is the showcase for it. Or maybe it's Cody, Rhea, and Bianca Belair. Maybe it's all three of them. We'll see. But one of the big things about this game that got announced in addition is that a lot of new, or a lot of old matches are actually coming back, including special referee matches, which are something that I've really missed in the past few years' games. I just really enjoyed, like, I think it was 2K15, 2K16, and 2K17, you were able to do it. Or maybe 17 was the first one where you couldn't. But I just remember having so much fun being the special referee and just messing with people. It was just really fun for me. So I'm glad that's coming back. And then there's other matches coming out as well. You can find a list of all of them online. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. That was the big thing that happened earlier this week with WWE. Around the same time, I had to wait. I had to let the whoa play. The other thing that happened this week involving WWE was it was announced that WWE just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix. That will go into effect in 2025. The deal is, now let me see if I get this right, starting in 2025 in the United States and Canada, I believe, Monday Night Raw will now exclusively be on Netflix. SmackDown will be moved to the USA Network, and I believe everything else, like all pay-per-views or premium live events, and NXT will be moved to Peacock. I believe that's what it is. At least for the US and Canada. Outside of the US and Canada, everything from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and all premium live events, including the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, everything, will all be on Netflix. Which is insane. So if you're someone who lives outside the United States and you've got a Netflix account, 2025, you're living the dream. And if you're not living outside of the United States and Canada, now is the perfect time to get a VPN. This is gonna, I mean, not sponsored, but hi NordVPN. This is like a perfect advertisement for you. Now, of course, people are already joking about how expensive Netflix monthly fees are going to get to in 2025. I mean, it's probably going to be, I don't even know how much Netflix fees are now. It's like, what, $10, $15 a month? I don't know what like those prices are, because I don't really use any streaming services other than YouTube, which is free. So I don't know, but people are being like, yeah, it's going to be like probably 30, 40 bucks a month for Netflix with all the stuff that's now going to be exclusively on there. But hey, I mean, that's a crazy deal for Netflix and for WWE. And something that someone's pointed out is that when Raw goes to Netflix, which is happening no matter where you live, Raw will be on Netflix. Someone pointed out that this will be the first time since Raw, premiered in 1993, that Raw will not air on TV. I mean, for such a long time we've heard that Monday Night Raw is the longest weekly episodic television show in history of any genre. Nothing else comes close to it. And that's going to end in 2025 because, well, it's not going to be on TV anymore. So that was the other big thing that came out, which, some people are split about, but, I mean, I kind of see it as an absolute win, especially if you've already got Netflix, you're already paying for it. Yeah, the price is probably going to go up, but, I mean, prices for everything is going up. And I feel like this is Netflix's way of competing with, Disney Plus, Peacock, because Peacock for a while there, they were on fire, I feel like. They were getting everything. Not just like wrestling, I mean they had like everything. It was them and like HBO Max, I feel like. They were kind of putting Disney Plus to shame. Now, the last bit of news to cover was, and you guys know I don't really like covering serious topics here. It's supposed to be fun, but this is probably the biggest news story surrounding WWE this week, and it's pretty recent. It's basically completely overshadowed the Netflix deal already. Vince McMahon has again been accused of stuff. It's similar to the stuff he was accused of a year or two ago, around the time where he stepped down as, chairman, CEO of WWE, gave the reins to Triple H. I don't believe, and now I haven't looked too much into it, I don't believe it's an extension, or I don't think it's the same person accusing him. I don't think it's an extension of that either. Oh, this is bad. Ooh, didn't even need to use my resiliency. Oh no. I don't like I said, I haven't looked too much into it. I don't believe it's an extension. I believe it's an entirely new accusation. But the reason this one I think is getting so much attention, because this time there's more evidence being presented, not a lot, and people are critical of the evidence that has been presented. A lot of people, again, think it's someone just making a baseless claim or just trying to, accuse them of something for money, that kind of situation. But if what they are accusing Vince of doing is true, WWE could be in a lot of trouble, because according to their claims, this was not an isolated incident. And I mean that both in terms of instances that happened and also people involved. If what they're saying is true, this is something that went on for several years, basically most of the 2000s, and involved several high-ranking officials in WWE, and was supposedly also known among the talent at that time period. One name that actually got mentioned specifically was Brock Lesnar, which has supposedly resulted in Brock Lesnar being pulled from the Royal Rumble. That shows you how serious this stuff is. Because there's rumors that Lesnar had plans for the Royal Rumble, or was supposed to be involved somehow, and those plans got scrapped when his name got thrown into these accusations. So the three main names that I saw were Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and Brock Lesnar. Those were the three names mentioned specifically, but there were also, the way it was presented, it seems like this was something known among all talent that was going on. Talent, employees, stagehands, most likely higher up ranking officials knew. So, like I said, if this is proven true, WWE could be facing a who knows how many lawsuits. I mean, this could destroy the company if this is proven to be true. Yes, Vince is no longer a part of WWE, and this is more him as an individual, not WWE the company, but since he was, running WWE, and what was going on involved a lot of people in the company, and people in the company who weren't involved knew about it, there's a lot of stuff there, which, again, is such a shame because WWE feels like they're on the brink of something really good right now. And that's something people have been saying for the past year, I want to say. Starting in early 2023, WWE's just kind of been on a roll, especially in these last few months. I want to say the last 6-7 months, they've been on a roll. Basically post-WrestleMania, I feel like. But they've really picked it up the last few months. It just seems like everything's going right. I mean, they've got all these big stars on their roster now. So many people are really over. They just had this multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix. They merged with UFC. All this stuff is going on. The fans are invested in WWE more than they've been in years. So, if this was to derail it, I mean, this has the potential to derail it, if it's proven true. Now, a lot of stuff still has to happen for this to be proven true, and, if any consequences to be laid out. Alright, like I said, there was a lot to talk about, so now we can finally get into Raw and SmackDown, because, shocker, we got a lot to talk about there as well. So Raw began with Seth Rollins revealing that he will be out for several months due to his knee injury, which, as we mentioned last week, was a legitimate injury, will most likely require surgery. I forget, it was either ACL or MCL. But yeah, so it was a legitimate injury. Rollins says he will be out, but if he takes it easy and he gets lucky with, his physical therapy process, he may not miss WrestleMania. And it is his plan to not vacate the title and defend it at WrestleMania. Now, this resulted in Gunther coming out, confronting Seth, and saying that he will be the one to win the Royal Rumble, and he will challenge Seth if he wins. So, once again, this is another huge thing, and like I said last week, if this truly was a legitimate injury and Seth is out of WrestleMania, that completely changes how the Royal Rumble could go, the months leading up to Mania. I mean, this changes everything. And now we've got a new potential challenger in Gunther. I mean, for so long we've been thinking, okay, we all know how this is going to go. Cody's going to challenge Reigns, and Punk is going to challenge Seth. Well, that kind of changed this week, and I'll get into that later, but it's interesting that they're adding Gunther to this title picture, despite still being Intercontinental Champion. Ow. Ow. Oh, he's busted open. Uh-oh. Get out of here. My turn. Boom. He's gonna use resiliency, right? Yep. Yep, that's what I thought. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods face Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. Good to see Vinci back after, his scary injury. Or whatever even happened with that. Did they ever say what happened? I don't think they even ever addressed it in the match or on TV. Because was it an injury, or did he just something happen at ringside? I forget at this point. Either way, the two teams had a match which ended in the double countout, with the teams continuing to brawl after the bell, and basically all four members going through tables. Was how they ended it, which was very fun. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark beat Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Afterwards, Katana Chance, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter confronted Baszler and Stark, but then they were taken out by Asuka and Kairi Sane. Oh no. Oh, come on. I keep getting caught in this. Aha. Oh no. Ow. Oh no. Ow. That hurt. Get off me. Stay down. So, sorry, before that tag team match, the women's tag team match, probably the most talked about moment of the night, other than, you know, Seth Rollins' announcement, was a promo between Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, where the two of them went back and forth, with Cody saying that he's more CM Punk than CM Punk is. CM Punk is more the American dream than Cody is, bringing up their past together, a promise that Punk made to Dusty to look after Cody. They got very personal, and it was a great exchange. So, but it's interesting now, because now it seems like, okay, now it seems like we are going to get a match between Cody and Punk at Mania. Now that's interesting, because, like I said, for so long it seemed to be, okay, plan's going to be Cody versus Reigns, Punk versus Seth, but now it's like, okay, we might be getting Cody versus Punk instead. So does that mean we're getting Gunther versus Seth, and who's facing Reigns? Ow. Alright, I gotta wrap this up. Good night, Cody. Alright, I gotta wrap this up real quick. We haven't even gone through Raw. Alright, the main event of Raw saw Drew McIntyre beat Damian Priest after a botched interference by R-Truth, which, that's not gonna end well for Truth, poor guy. It's ironic, because Priest seemed to be the one Judgment Day member who actually likes Truth, and is okay with him, and now Truth cost him a match. That's not good. Moving on to SmackDown, Santos Escobar beat Carlito. Asuka and Kairi Sane beat Chance and Carter to become the new Women's Tag Team Champions. This leaves Damage Control heading into Royal Rumble with basically all the gold. We'll see if Bayley can win the Royal Rumble, or we'll see what happens there. But it's weird that they had this title match on free TV and not at the pay-per-view. I don't know, I feel like you got the Royal Rumble right there. It's a big 4 pay-per-view. Save the title match for that. The Final Testament, that's Karrion Kross and the authors of Pain's new group, took out Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits before a scheduled match. Austin Theory beat Carmelo Hayes. It's good to see Austin Theory back again after that scary injury a couple weeks ago. Afterwards, Theory and Waller attacked Carmelo, who was then saved by Trick Williams. And in the main event, LA Knight faced Solo Sikoa, which ended with AJ Styles attacking Knight. Randy Orton came out, took out everyone, before LA Knight dropped Orton with blunt force trauma to close out the show. And that's it for Raw and SmackDown. Like I said, we had a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of stories going into Royal Rumble. This might be the most story-filled Rumble we've had in probably like 10 years. So it's going to be really interesting to see the direction WWE goes in. There's still, you know, a ton of potential surprise returns they could pull. We've got the Fatal 4-Way match for the world title. There's a lot going on, so this is a Royal Rumble that's very worth looking forward to. Alright, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, make videos all the time. Stay tuned for next week's Versus, and next week where we continue our LEGO Batman 3 walkthrough. Hope you guys enjoyed. Guy01 and CM Punk signing out. Bye, guys.